In this video, we're going to talk about the imminent risk record. We'll cover adding, scoring, finalizing, and deleting imminent risk records, and then we'll also talk about their relation to diversions. In order to access the imminent risk record, the users must have the case-imminent risk permission. So if you don't see the imminent risk record or you can't edit or delete it, it's this imminent risk one that I have highlighted here with the stop sign looking icon. So if you can't see that or you don't have the right permissions, then you'll just have to contact whoever manages the user accounts at your agency and request the appropriate level of access that you need based on your responsibilities. Okay, so the purpose of the imminent risk record is it's actually an assessment. So imminent risk assessments help determine if an applicant would qualify for nursing facility diversion priority status. So this is a priority status that moves you up on the My Choice waiting list. So an applicant is eligible for this diversion status if they are living in the community or being released from an acute care setting and they're found to be at imminent risk of nursing facility admission. So you can use this assessment to kind of determine that. And so the goal of diversions is to divert people from going into nursing facilities. So that's why we use this imminent risk assessment to assess if they're at imminent risk of doing that. So support coordinators should answer these questions based on all information available at the time of assessment. This includes observations, answers to questions obtained from the applicant or any other knowledgeable individuals, and any medical records that they might have. So support coordinators can ask probing questions if necessary to determine the most appropriate answer, but you're going to want to make sure you're using all your resources to fill out these imminent risk assessments. So to add an imminent risk assessment, you simply highlight the imminent risk node or an existing imminent risk record and then click the Add button. And then you'll see that the imminent risk assessment date and type of residence are required to add an imminent risk assessment. So the date will automatically populate with today's date, but you can update it to be whatever the true imminent risk assessment date is. I'm just going to leave it as is. And then type of residence, it defaults to private home/apartment just because that's listed first. If this applies to your participant, then select the licensed AFC/HFA. Okay, so I'm going to leave that as it is as well, and then click Add to add the record. Cancel and the red X would just close the pop-up and not add a record. Okay, so now I have added an imminent risk assessment. You can see that over on this left side, the node label is the assessment date, the score, and then the agent code. So this is because you can actually add multiple imminent risk assessments. So this helps identify which one you're looking for. And then also other agencies can add imminent risk assessments to the same participant, and you'll be able to see those read-only. You won't be able to edit any other agency's assessments, and they won't be able to edit yours, but you can view each other's. And so we make sure we include the agent code as well. The score is 0 right now just because none of the questions have been answered yet. But as soon as we start answering these, that score will update in the top banner and in the node label. So the score, this score banner is always displayed when you're in the imminent risk record, and the form is incomplete will change to either person may qualify for diversion status or person does not qualify for diversion status as soon as you've answered all the questions. Until you've answered all the questions, it'll say form is incomplete, just so that you know that this score isn't really official yet. Something else about this is that this banner will actually go away if you use the missing button. This is just an odd part of the app, so if you're wondering where it goes, when you come back, if you click anywhere in the UI, it'll come back. So just be aware of that. And then as you start answering these, you'll notice the score will start changing. Depending on how I answer, maybe it won't change some questions, but that's all dependent on what you select in here. And then to finalize this assessment, you actually have to answer all the questions. So using missing is an option, and you can, answer them going through here if you'd like. But for this assessment, it doesn't really help you out a lot because every single one of these questions is required since it's such a short assessment. Everything is deemed important and required. So I'm just going to keep filling these out so that we can finalize an assessment and see what that looks like. And then as soon as I answer this last one, you'll see this form is incomplete change to that I actually qualify for diversion status, because to determine if you qualify or not, it's based on the score, and a score of 8 or higher will make you qualify for diversion status. If you're lower than 8, then the person will not qualify for diversion status. So click this, and now you can see person may qualify for diversion status. So this says may qualify because this assessment is really, the backbone of submitting a diversion, but the diversions are still approved by the state. So that's why it says may qualify, because just you don't want to think that it's all complete and stamped ready to go at this point. The state still will have to approve the diversion later on, and I'll talk about that in the diversions training video. So please watch that if you have any questions about how that process will work. But I just wanted to point out why it says may qualify. And then now that we're all done, if I'm all set with my answers, I might review them first before I finalize, because finalize will lock this record. And so if I'm all set and happy with my answers, I'm going to click the finalize button. And it's going to have this confirmation prompt just in case I didn't actually mean to click that, or I want to cancel out. I can click the cancel or red X button. I'm going to click continue. And now you'll see my user ID and then the date and time that I finalized it was populated in these finalize fields. And then there's also a lock icon on the assessment indicating that the assessment is now locked. I will point out that for the purposes of this demo video, we wanted to record this, but our locking functionality is not quite working correctly. So these would show up read-only right now. There's just a bit of a refresh issue. So if I go back and I look, you'll see that this is now read-only and you can't edit anything. So when you guys have the real production app, this won't be a problem. It'll lock immediately when you click that finalize button. We're just fixing that right now. So that's adding an imminent risk assessment and finalizing it. So if you wanted to delete it, you would need to delete prior to finalizing. So I'm going to actually add another one to show you that process. So if I try to add another imminent risk record with the same date, the system is going to show me an error because the imminent risk assessment date needs to be unique. So it's telling me duplicate assessment date. So if I change it just by day, then click add, the app will be happy with that because now they aren't the same assessment date. Okay, so to delete, all you have to do is highlight the record and click the delete button, but if the record is finalized, the delete button will be disabled. So if you need to delete a finalized imminent risk assessment, you'll need someone that has the never see record locks permission to do this, or you'll need someone to temporarily grant you access to the never see record locks permission. If it's not finalized though, you can just click the delete button and then confirm delete to actually delete the record. So that's deleting imminent risk assessments. Something though to keep in mind, imminent risk records end up being used in diversions. So when you add a diversion, you reference an imminent risk record that's finalized. So if you select any of these imminent risk records in a diversion and then try to go delete it, the app will stop you, even if you have never see record locks, because that imminent risk record is referenced in a diversion. So the app will say imminent risk cannot be edited or deleted because it's linked to an existing diversion. Please remove the imminent risk from the diversion record. So that's how you can get around it if you really do need to change something or delete it and you have never see record locks. then you'll first need to go into the diversion and deselect the imminent risk, and then you'll be able to go back and make any changes or delete the record. But if it's linked in a diversion, the app will not let you, just for integrity purposes. Since the diversions are approved by the state, we don't want you, making changes to it after the fact. So that's why we do that. So I think that's all the big things about the imminent risk record.